This Bitcoin dominance chart should get your attention. Giving up the weekly 21-day moving average in here is going to be that key region where the altcoin market should start pushing back higher. You held one range of support and now you're trying to create a lower high, which kind of means the Bitcoin dominance can push further to the downside. Watch the XRP, one of the large cap asset, and how it's performing. This is a short-term chart, but it's giving you the guidance of what's coming soon. That means as you zoom further to the backside and look at the charts, you are now looking at the macro scenario. Look at this 3-day chart on XRP, and that conveys a lot of information. Along with the MACD, RSI, and the volume, XRP price action is now becoming more interesting. When you do compare it with a highly correlated asset like XLM, you get that idea a little bit more clearer. Then you look at Ether. That's on the smart contracts aisle of the market. You look at the RSI, the MACD, and the price action with relative to its moving average. And you're like, okay, fine. This thing is not yet starting to give that big push. What are the odds of the total market performing like crazy? One of the primary things you have to look at for that is the Bitcoin price itself. Let's break all of these moving parts and align our narrative clear for next 2 weeks to 6 weeks. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. While you go through all of these charts and assets, you do have to keep in mind the volume matters a lot more. $80 billion movement in USDT in last 24 hours. Now look at what Bitcoin is. That's 40. Ether is close to 20. So now you're still saying after taking these two big assets out of the market, you're watching XRP with 5 billion and then USDC getting close to 11. So you now have close to $100 billion movement in stable coins. Question which we should be trying to answer is which direction these capital is going. So now we pick XRP for that matter. You're looking at a 3-day chart. You can slowly zoom in. This is easy. You're going in, looking at whether buyers or sellers are dominating this market. So this is XRP to dollar value. Yeah. Now we are looking at XRP to dollar value, and it suggests we have a resistance for sure. We're getting very close to it. But watch the RSI. The RSI is getting overbought. Now go back in time and look at the times where we have done that before. You had a similar pattern here, and then as soon as your RSI entered the overbought territory, the price broke to the upside. Now I know out there will be a lot of people giving you different opinion, but understand the market shows you when the RSI reach the overbought territory, you have very little sellers there, or the amount of buying strength or the buyers present in the market is at the highest, which means sellers are kind of not even visible at that point. Now, that's a 4-hour chart. You need to zoom a little bit out, go on a daily to see is that the same on a daily. As of now, it's not. You still have some sellers out there, but buyers are dominating. It's not at the 50 mark now. It is at 60. So as soon as you enter 70, you can anticipate something big. Example, here, early November, say around 9th to 10th, you saw that the daily RSI entered 70 plus, and the price action of XRP was close to 0.5, below 0.6. Yeah. Now the price, even after dropping, is still at 2.43. Why? Yeah, that's the trouble. We had enormous amount of buying strength. There was very few sellers out there, and you look at it on a weekly, you get to see this. The weekly RSI is still overbought. Now, to understand what that means and how XRP may behave, you literally have to go all the way back into 2017. Why? Because in 2021, we never got that kind of an opportunity to stay up there. We never had every exchange listing XRP, everyone being able to buy XRP. Now, in 2024, there's a big difference. Most of the exchanges have relisted XRP and everyone can buy XRP, which means that's the reason why the strength is still overbought on a weekly, which means sellers are not there on a macro. You have traders, institution, whales trying to manipulate the market on a micro, but not on a macro. So that kind of gives you a bit more clarity into what you should be really looking at, a macro chart. And one of the easiest way you can do that is to put that on a Heikin Ashi. When the Heikin Ashi is green, you're not worried. When the Heikin Ashi on a monthly shows you, there was a lot of sellers here. Yeah, it was very hard to break through that pattern. And now that you managed to break above that, I would personally like to see a retest and a bounce off. That is going to be a huge move. Now, there are times when XRP never came back to retest those. The example is that 2015 highs were broken here in April 2017 and we never came back on a monthly. But question is, did we do a retest on a shorter horizon? So we go in, we zoom in. This is a weekly chart. In a weekly, there was an attempt to do that, but it barely came close. Now, if you put the weekly tops instead of the monthly, you kind of came close to it, but you didn't touch it. So you zoom in again, you go on a 3-day chart. Now, it kind of shows you there was big drop in the market. And we understand that it is going to come. 60% drop before you took the next big leg up. But did it actually matter if you are the bull, the XRP bull? Yeah, no, not much. Why? You're holding in spot and you don't care about these fluctuations. We have seen enough fluctuations in the market. Now, take the same equation. While the Bitcoin is still moving up, staying near the all-time highs, this is something you need to keep in your mind. The Bitcoin comparison to XRP. So in here, you don't have a negative divergence and you have the 1 and the 2 structure. So what are you going to do after that? You're going for the 3, the third leg of this run up. Fine. How big was the third leg compared to the second one? If you look at this, there was a wild one, but still it was equal to the first one. So you're saying this thing is going to run back up into the highs of 2017, into the highs of 2014 in comparison to Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin is in the skies compared to the 2017 or 2015. You just put a monthly chart and go back and look where Bitcoin prices were back in 2017. Yeah, so now it's way up here. So taking an easy comparison, the Bitcoin argument is the price is 8x from where it was in 2017. The price is clearly 60x up from where it was back then in 2014. So if XRP has to catch up with Bitcoin, either Bitcoin has to drop dramatically or XRP has to go up. Now there's another case. XRP can go up, stay there somewhere close to the all-time highs, while Bitcoin dominance drop and Bitcoin drop like crazy. Now what is it going to be? Do you really care about that? I mean, honestly, if your price in XRP is running up and you can literally watch the negative divergence to get out of the market, then it shouldn't matter much. What matters is the volume. If the volume is coming back in with each break to the upside, you shouldn't be worried. Rather, watch the volume and the trend. If your overall trend on Aramco remains positive, don't be worried. I mean, put it on a weekly. This is going to make life easier for you. XRP on a weekly shows it's going up. Now you come, take Bitcoin into the same equation, and that shows you it's still green, but way in the overbought region. Now you put it on a monthly and it's like, whoa, it's going up. Is there a sign of reversal? You come on a 3-day, it's slowing down. You come on a daily, it's slowing down. So are we really reaching the top? Because when you go back on a monthly, the first drop which you see here is at $48,000. So is it accurate? Yes, on a monthly horizon, it is. But the top was not there. We know that. The top was close to $69,000. Why does that matter? If you come onto a 3-day chart though, it was showing you at 55,000 we're dropping. You didn't have to wait till 48,000. Now we go on a daily and it shows near $60,000. It was showing you that was the top. Yeah, you had a retest, but the top was already in. So if you trust the charts and this chart in particular, that is arguing something is happening. Not a lot of people would agree on that, but you know what the market is suggesting. Now, take Ether on the same horizon and it's like, oh, that's a bit of confusion there. Ether is slowing down. XRP is going up. Ether is not. So you go into various different assets across the spectrum in this market, and it is genuinely confusing this time around. There's a huge shift, and one of that reason can be the US election and what the elected president is conveying. We talked about that before. Now you understand the volume. What matters is where this volume is going into. So literally, you go into XRP, you can literally go down into the market side of the equation. Now you're picking up all these currencies. And you're like Euro, JPY. You're watching a lot of different currencies like Euro, Pound, Dollar, and all. But where's the biggest volume coming from? In XRP terms, that's coming from the USDT, USD, USDC. So majority is fiat. Yeah, then you have some euro, but again, going back all of these. So you have a decent volume coming from Bitcoin. You have a decent volume coming from Tron. You have a decent volume coming from a lot of different sides, but it's all majority coming from fiat, which is US dollar, USDT. So you don't actually see that panic in people saying, I'm dumping USDT. You are watching people still using that to buy this asset. So for you, your exit should be comparatively easier when the liquidity is still high. But when you're in the market, there are other concerns too. Are we topping off? Where can be the local top? So you have made a recent local pattern. You broke higher. Now you also have a higher resistance. So that's close to $100,000 for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin coming close to that level means there is going to be a retest. So on the Bitcoin dominant side, giving up the 21-day moving average is critical. Why? You go back in history. You would like to see how it aligned with previous cycles, bull market for altcoins. Yeah, the alt season. You see this Jan-Feb 2021. Interesting. The moving average was broken to the downside on Bitcoin dominance chart. Now we go back to XRP and look at what the time was when we actually started the real bull market in 2021. So you go back and you look at the time where we started the big burst. That's Jan 2021. So you saw the fact that from the bottom, XRP went up 7x without much of the exchanges listing it, while the Bitcoin dominance was breaking lower. Fine. You go back and you see this. There's the previous time when that happened while you were still trending up. Yeah. While you were still trending up, not testing a resistance and getting rejected. Yeah. This is an entirely different story. But at that time, it was 2019 Jan. So you go back 2019 Jan. This is where you were. You had a micro bounce. You led the market to the upside. Not too much, but 80%. So in a bear market, while XRP was dropping with lower highs, it still did a 80% rally. And in a bull market, it went up 800% without much of the exchanges involved. Now we go look at while you are creating lower highs and breaking the moving average to the downside, how did that end up? Yeah, you started making in lower highs, lower lows, and this was a break and retest, then a rejection. Now, what's familiar here is you did break to the downside, but you also came back up to retest, which became a fake out. And then you slowly, gradually, and then suddenly dropped to the downside. While you zoom out, it looks very tiny. But then you understand this. That's something which is coming in our way. Now, if you look at this, you kind of get the attention span ready for weekly. Sellers are dominating. Look at the RSI. It kind of gives you the actual equation. It's dropping. Now, look at the MACD. It's still in the positive zone for sure, but it has crossed to the downside. Now go look at the monthly. The monthly MACD is saying I'm slowing down. Now, monthly RSI, we talked about this many times before, is getting rejected at that resistance we talked about a few months back. Now remember, in October, we were reaching there. And since then, we've been slowing down. Market kind of confirms the data for you. You just have to abide by it. So now Bitcoin dominance is going down. The XRP dominance is going back up. Bitcoin is slowing down against XRP and a lot of different altcoins, which kind of signals you something. Okay, if the XRP dominance is about to ride further to the upside to reach the range of 2017, 2018, or even 2014, that again goes back to the equation. So Bitcoin is 60x up from 2014-15. Bitcoin is like 10x up from 2017. So from here, if Bitcoin stays there, how much should XRP actually go? The minimum should be 10x. If Bitcoin is dropping, that equation changes. If Bitcoin stays somewhere close to the top, that's like another 10x move in XRP, which means $25, close to that. Say XRP is going up, but Bitcoin is slowing down. In that case, you're still looking at what? $16 to $20. And that's the optimistic target, which gives you excitement. Now, that should be there without failure, because while the market still trends higher, creating higher highs, higher lows, and staying in the overbought territory, you should not miss the fact that we are in the overbought territory. On a weekly chart, you don't have much of a selling pressure. What you're doing, though, is showing you the fact that there was a retracement, you're going back up. A break of 2.9 is going to be the euphoric move. Now, question, however, becomes like, are we going to directly break the 2.9 mark, or are we going to retest? Because XRP kind of plays a lot of games. Whales are involved, institutions are involved. What if we kind of do this and then go up? That is a possibility. Don't neglect that. It's okay if you're a trader to watch and jump into those moves. If you're a spot trader, you really don't care. What you care is the macro movement after holding for 5-6 years. Now all that matters is taking your profit and stepping out. At this point, if you're not thinking about that, when will you do that? While the Bitcoin dominance slows down and breaks below 57, you should have your targets ready. You should have your exits clear and off ramps ready. If you have only one exchange at that time, it's going to be a panic time for you if that exchange fails at that point. Have 2 to 3 different exchanges ready KYC'd so that you can pull it back into your bank account, or at least move it to the safe side of the aisle. If you don't have that safety, it is going to be concerning, because as soon as you see the micro breaks to the downside, it is that leg. Remember, we talked about this breakout. Now it's retesting. A rejection and a break of 57.39 is a continuation. That means the Bitcoin dominance is pushing back lower. You're going to see something like the November-December run-up in crypto, and this time around the momentum can be bigger. Are you going to absorb those gains into your portfolio? And if you need help on that front, be a part of the Scientific Investor family. Use the link in the description below. Jump in and make sure you understand what the market is doing and take part in all the activities which we are going through in the market right now. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.